The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and the host. They do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions of the organization and the company.
Hi IO community, welcome to another insightful episode of IO's Leaders Insight. So today actually is a very special day for all of us because our guest for today is very special. We seldom see him in the Philippines, so he does visit us twice a year only. So I guess by the clue, you know who it is. But yeah, this is a special episode and this is our first installment. Join me in welcoming the man of the hour, IO's visionary, Mr. Nikolai Naylor.
Hi guys, and hi Stephanie.
Hi sir. Is it fair to say that I'm nervous?
Probably yes.
Are you nervous sir?
No,
No,
not for this.
really.
I know all of you too well.
Give me a few minutes, cause yeah, to sit in. So yes sir, welcome to the 5th installment of the Leaders Insight. I hope that you are as excited as me. I'm a little bit jittery, but hopefully it'll pass later. So let me first say that it is a privilege of mine actually to host you sir today.
Oh, thank you.
Because well, it's really seldom that we sit across like this and talk of things outside of work really, because most of our one-to-ones are really about work and action points and things like that. So guys, even if Sir Nikolai and I have been working together for a few years now, we seldom do sit-ins like this, so this is my first time too.
That is true, guys. There's a lot of work that we get through, and Steph helps me getting through
so
that.
it gets consumed. So yeah, so it's really a privilege of mine to know you beyond the vision, beyond the company, sir, and well, beyond the work that we usually have every day. So really, I'm grateful to be here. So as I've mentioned earlier, sir, for this episode of the Leaders Insight, we've gathered a few questions from our team members. So there's quite a few. Yes. I hope we will cover everything. I hope we will cover everything on this episode. But don't worry, sir. It's just mainly about business, your leadership, and some things, personal, family, some things like that. But it's safe. Don't worry. Yan. And yeah, and hopefully during this episode, we get to know you more. And that's actually one of the goals for today's Leaders Insight. So yon. For everyone's reference, katulad nga ng sinasabi ko kanina guys, this is my first time sitting with Sir Nikolai like this. So bear with us because it will be our first time talking about things that is in this, well, cheat board. Okay, sir.
Those are your questions.
Oh yeah. Guys. So guys, hopefully by the end of this episode, I still have my job back at IO. But yeah, we'll be safe, don't worry. Okay, sir. So kidding aside, on a serious note, sir, to start things off, because I really had this question actually long ago when I first joined IO. So really, from your perspective, sir, how did IO came to be?
Okay, well, for those that don't know the story, it came about because I went to a conference and it was all about outsourcing of work. Because at Naylor's, I was having a problem actually hiring people. Mm-hmm. And what they were saying was that outsourcing was the way forward. Mm-hmm. Now, the only problem was there's no control. Mm-hmm. So I didn't have any control over what was happening. I had to do everything their ways. Mm-hmm. So in their systems, their processes, and it's always a different person. So I didn't like that. I wanted more control. Mm-hmm. So it was just talking with Dee, and this is in my home office, because there was just myself, Dee, and one other person. And then she had mentioned that she had a niece, which was Christine Tsai, and so basically came back the next day, and we basically just said, well, why don't we have Christine working for Naylor Accountancy Services?
Oh.
So we started like that, just bookkeeping for Naylor, and then it became more, and then I introduced it to friends, and then it's grown since then, and we want to grow a lot more, guys, as well. But that, you know, it's grown since then.
So it was actually at the time, sir, that you already had Naylor Accountancy. So
Yes.
how was it for you? Because, well, handling one business is challenging,
Yes.
and having another one is more challenging because, well, this time around the business is actually in the Philippines and not anywhere near UK, and both Miss D and yourself is in the UK. So how did you manage the two businesses simultaneously?
Well, it wasn't that difficult to start with because it was small. It was only Christine. I mean, there was so much bureaucracy in the Philippines, so luckily Christine did all that. So if it wasn't for her, it wouldn't have happened, basically. So she managed to do all that, get through it all. And then as it grew, we got D into the sort of integrator role. We didn't actually define it as integrator then because we weren't doing EOS, so Entrepreneur's Operating System. But so it just started gradually. I have been focused more on NAS, Naylor Accountancy Services, than many on a lot of the times, and it has meant friction with my wife because I have worked a lot, I still work a lot, because we want it to succeed and grow, and the vision's bigger than it is now, basically, on both sides, Naylor Accountancy Services and Intelligent Outsourcing.
I actually, sir, can attest to that because, well, I came in during let's just say a challenging time in Naylor Accountancy, but everything is all right now. It's
acquisition.
Yeah.
Sorry, I shouldn't snort, but that was difficult, guys. That was not much fun.
A very fond memory of mine. It was very, very challenging at that point in time. But yeah, we all managed to surpass it, and the structure became well organized, so now it's okay.
So just very quickly, just for everybody here, the reason why the acquisition worked was because of intelligent outsourcing and everybody helping. So I mean, it was everybody helping, like within the leadership, within other people as well. So it was hands up to everybody. And then we got some great people in as well, like yourself, like Andy, like Michael, and then the great team we've got now.
It's actually thinking about
and France, obviously.
And thinking about it now, sir, it's amazing how it gradually fit together like a puzzle. Because it was such a, I'm sorry to say this, it was such a headache at that time.
It was.
And then eventually, with the help of IO and well, getting the right people together, I guess, it all really went well. And well, Naylor Accountancy and IO in Intelligent Outsourcing is, well, at this point in time now.
One thing I just want to say, Steph, and that's to all of you, hard work played a lot in it. I was getting up at 4:30 a.m. every morning. That's UK time. So I could do review of accounts before anyone got in. And then I could do all my exercise after that. And then I was working till 6 at night. So it is only through hard work that you get what you want. And that's the same for you guys. Hard work pays off.
And I will attest to this, guys, really, because if you can see Sir Nikolai's calendar, there's a reminder there at 5:30 in the morning. So, well, he really wakes up early to get things started, to, I guess, to stimulate the mind, exercise, and things like that. So I guess it's the discipline. It's one of the things, sir, actually, that I really am in awe of you. Because even me, I wake up early, guys. Mind you, I wake up early, but the discipline, it's really different, sir, with you. Because you make time, you find time to discipline yourself, to be able to be the best for both Naylor Accountancy and Intelligent Outsourcing.
Well, thank you, Stephanie.
My question there, sir, is because, well, as you've said earlier, it's not really rainbows and butterflies before with both in IO and Naylor Accountancy, right? Was there any moments of doubt, fear, for the future of both businesses? Because now it's not only Naylor Accountancy, but, well, it's also Intelligent Outsourcing. Was there any? how will I do this? Was there any instances like that with you?
I do have fear. So with a 4-day work week, I had a fear that partners wouldn't agree to it at all, and we really wanted that to happen. But I knew we had to do it, and I knew it was the way forward, that we wanted to move intelligent outsourcing, so we did it. But I'm an optimist, as you know, Stephanie. I always see obstacles then there's a solution around them. And if it wasn't for persistence, then persistence is a massive thing, and it's in my book, the persistence. But if you don't persist, you will fail. But if you keep persisting, you will get over that potential failure, because business and life is a roller coaster. I say this to everybody, there's ups and downs. You just got to ride the ups when you can, but make sure when you're going up, you know there's going to be a down coming around the corner. So you then got to ride it, and you can't give up. You've got to keep going. Other people may have given up, but
not you.
No, I want these to be very successful. I want them to outlive me, basically.
Yeah, you've been mentioning a lot about it, actually, sir, this past few years, that you wanted to leave a business which will be a legacy for you. So that's one thing that I admire as well.
Can I just change that? It's not a legacy for me, it's a legacy for everybody.
For everybody.
Everybody within Intelligent Outsourcing and potentially Naylor Accountancy Services, because it's to grow it that way. So I'd see it as a we. I wouldn't have Naylor Accountancy Services the way it is, or IO, Intelligent Outsourcing, unless it wasn't for team.
You know what, sir? This is one of the things that I'm saying this quite a few times now, but this is one of the things, actually, sir, that I admire about you. I guess you don't notice it quite often, but success for you, the way I see it, it's not only your work. It's inculcated in your mind that this success is not only me, but everybody. Not quite a lot of leaders do actually that, sir, especially in this area of the world. But yeah, I guess you've always told me every time that I will mention like successes and things like that this is, Steph, this is always a group effort, this is team effort, this is not just me. So I guess it's one of the things that I really, truly admired about you, sir. You always appreciate the team that grows with you, that works with you, that is with you through, well, I guess the roller coaster ride, the crazy ride. So that's one of the things that I do appreciate and I do admire about you. My next question is actually part of the set of questions, sir, that the team members sent to us. So having these two businesses, was it difficult to you having to manage and oversee the growth of both while being a present husband and a father to 2 teenagers? How are you managing at this point in time?
Well, teenagers is easier. So teenagers is easier because they look after themselves. The only thing I have to do is drive them around everywhere, or I have had to. My daughter can drive now, so I'd have to do that. But it was when they were younger, but then I didn't, Naylor Accountancy wasn't so big, so I could take them to school, I could pick them up and everything, so that was great. But it has been difficult. But the thing is, I enjoy my work, so I do enjoy that. But I do spend time with the children, even now. But now they're teenagers, they don't really want to spend time with me. So
not as much as before, I guess.
No. But it's different when they're younger. When they're younger, I used to cycle my daughter to school on the back of the bike when she was very young and everything. So I used to walk them to school, telling them stories so they would carry on walking. But it was good fun.
It was good old days, I guess, or when they were younger. It was quite tough, but I guess you've enjoyed it. Yeah. I remember a few times when Amir was a little bit younger, you always used to tell me that, Steph, you enjoy this moment. You have to enjoy this moment while Amir is this small. Well, for everybody's reference, Amir is my kid. He's 3 years old now. I got to IO when he was 1. So at some point in time, Sir Nikolai and I, we would discuss about Amir and show pictures of my baby to him when he was, well, a baby. So he used to tell me, you have to enjoy Amir while he's this small, because when he's a toddler and when he reaches the terrible 2s, and then it'll be like a little bit more difficult for you. But I remember those conversations, small conversations that we have, sir. And well, look at where Amir is right now and the kids.
You've got to enjoy them until they're teenagers. You don't want your time.
Until my Amir reaches the age of, oh my goodness. Well, I should prepare my heart for that. But yeah. So one of the things to note as well, sir, if you'd agree with me, I guess one of the things also I think that helped you be a present father to the kids now and a present husband to Kate is actually the team that is with you. So would you agree, sir, that that's actually a great contributor to how things are now?
Yeah, but what I had to do is look at the structure. So I needed to look at structure so I could structure Intelligent Outsourcing and Naylor so that I could do what I was best at, which is the visionary. And then I had a good leadership team around me that could then deliver and work on what else was required in both businesses. So that's why we created, well, I read Traction by Gino Wickman, and we implemented Entrepreneur's operating system, but we did it first in Intelligent Outsourcing. So what I also knew was with Intelligent Outsourcing, I needed to implement it so we had other leaders, not just Christine and Dee. Because Christine and Dee, although you're amazing guys, and they struggled to start off with this because I needed other leaders in there because we couldn't grow IO to more than the 25 that we had, 27, without other leadership. And I knew that. They did get on board eventually, and they now realize it was the best thing we did.
Was the best thing.
But without that leadership team, we wouldn't be where we are now, and we won't be able to grow to where we want to go. And the whole structure of the leadership team and using Entrepreneur's operating system is allowing us now to grow even further. And we put that in place in the whole structure with our academy, everything, so we can grow. Within Naylor, so I'm going back to Naylor Accounting Services, that was always my problem because we weren't big enough for me to have a leadership team. So that's why I did the acquisition, and that's why I've done this second acquisition, and that's why we're constantly going to do acquisitions, because I wasn't able to create a leadership team until recently, and that was Andy, Michael, and France. So, and that's only with the acquisition, and we created those teams. Now we have Philip on there as well, so which is another benefit to doing acquisition. So it was just getting big, and then I could step out, because I was client-facing with all the clients in Naylor, and I had to step back in the acquisition as well for all of the clients, the acquisition ones, but that stepped me out, and having those teams, leadership teams, has been amazing. That's transforming both businesses.
I guess it was really a great help for you to focus on what you wanted to focus on, really.
Yes.
Yeah. But speaking of teams, sir, because, well, you have a leadership team in Naylor Accountancy, and you have a leadership team in Intelligent Outsourcing. And these are several different people with different personalities, with different management styles, and things like that. So, well, eventually, well, we will not, how will I say this? Sometimes there will be conflict because there's never an organization without one, really. So how do you manage the differences, say, for example, in opinions, different attack to things, different ways of thinking, different management style? How do you combine all of them and don't have them clash together? Because sometimes with different leadership styles, it clashes as well. So how do you navigate the conflicts sometimes and the obstacles with different leaders?
You actually want conflict, and you want the different views, which you know because you're in both meetings, in our L10s, our weekly and quarterly and annual. We've got our annual one coming up. So you do want that conflict, and you want people to be open and honest so they can have conflict. So I do create conflict as well sometimes on purpose, by the way, just because I want to see other people's opinions. So the reason for that is that you don't just want everybody to agree, you want to see other ways of looking at things. That's why we do what we call issues, discuss and solve, IDS, so that we can all see. And that's why I want people from different styles, different viewpoints on both leadership teams. Because if everyone was just the same, we'd be making all the same mistakes. So I want people to think of the different areas. I do expect people's mindsets to control what they're doing and be aware of what they're doing as well. Sometimes emotions can take too much and you need to step back, but emotions are okay as long as you can control them in the end.
And actually now, sir, thinking about it, I guess it was maybe 2 quarterly rock reviews ago, 2 or 3, I guess, that you mentioned somewhere along these lines that the leadership team of IO, you are surprised and are appreciative that they are now. These are good argument, guys, mind you, okay? This is for the growth of the business. But they are arguing well now. It's quite a funny moment, sir, when you said that. Because you mentioned, I think, on that meeting that you've always been so polite, guys. And I really appreciate now that you're, well, discussing it in this way. A healthy argument for the sake of the business. Because actually, sir, in our culture in the Philippines, I would say that we are, especially with leadership and management, in this culture in the Philippines, we are actually conflict averse. So it's one of the things that will be difficult really to break. Because, yeah, whatever the leader says, we tend to follow, and that's the culture here is. So really, when you were mentioning about it, I was laughing in my head and I was like, yeah, they're comfortable now to air out what they feel and what they want to say about a certain topic, and then you guys discuss and, well, eventually reach a viable solution, and that's really surprising, right? So that's really good.
But it is everyone has to be respectful.
Yes.
Well,
So
that's part of our
yeah. So guys, the leadership team, they also argue, but they argue in a healthy manner. In the long run and at the end of the meeting, they will still aim for a common goal and not to like scratch everyone out. No, not like that. There's a common goal at the end of each meeting.
And the key is everybody supports whatever has been decided. And it's not always what I agree and what I wanted.
True, guys.
Is because there are things that happen that I don't personally agree with, but if I don't know all the culture here as well or whatever, so I do take everyone's opinion on board.
Yeah. And actually, sir, I just remember a funny story that I did mention, that comparing you to a republic, you're like a democratic republic of the Philippines. Because during votes, when everybody is like 5 and you're the 1, you will just, okay, so if this is everybody's decision, I will respect this decision, and then you will go ahead with it. So it's actually great to see, sir. Because, well, not a lot of CEO will allow that, especially, well, in the Philippines in this kind of setting. It's quite cool to see such a type of leadership. You know, I've been always within the meeting room, and it's always cool to see that, okay, the Democratic Republic of Nikolai lost his vote, so we'll go into like a different avenue of a certain topic and things like that. Yeah. Then, so sir, there's one more question here as well, which is posed by our team members. That says, speaking of leadership, Sir Nikolai, this actually, sir, is not only within the Philippine setup. So this is like in general. What qualities do you think are lacking among today's leaders? So whether these leaders are aspiring or settled leaders. If given an opportunity, what advice would you give them?
Is this internal to IO or is it anywhere?
I guess this is in general, sir.
So the biggest thing I know, I mean, like, for those of you that know British politics, we've had so many prime ministers recently, from Boris Johnson in Theresa May, to everybody, Liz Truss, and now Sunak. As soon as I heard Liz Truss, which is the one that just came in before the last one, she lasted 6 weeks. I knew she was a bad leader. And the reason I knew it was her language. And I even said to my wife, she's not going to be a good leader. And I switched off her. She used I all the time. So if you're a leader, don't use I. Because as I, you can't do everything. It's a we. So if I use my language, I should always be using we, unless it is me, I. But as a leader, and this is as a world leader, because Trump does this as well, he uses I a lot.
Frequently, I would say.
Yeah, whereas Obama used a lot of we and and things like that. So you look at the we's and the I's. That's how I see it, because that shows you the mindset of the person. If they think they are the only one that can do things. And with Liz Truss, she thought she could do everything herself, and she made a real mess. The whole financial market collapsed around UK and everything within the first few weeks of her being in power. So that's what I say. Look at your vocab, I and we, and that should change your mindset as well if you're a leader. Or if you look at leaders as well.
So I guess that's I and we. That comes with the mindsetting that you are working with other people and not just
Well, you can't run a country as I.
Yeah. That's
so
true.
Nobody can run a country as I. I can't run IO as me. I can't run Naylor as me, only me. So, and if you're a team leader, you can't run a team as you only. You need everybody behind you.
That's correct, sir. That's actually true. Okay, so there's a follow-up question as well, sir. There's actually a lot of questions about leadership when it was sent back to us. So this is one of them. And I will take a breath. Guys, what do you think IO lacks in terms of its culture or work environment, if there's any?
So the big thing is mindset, which is why we have got a whole program on mindsets coming in from IO Academy with Jude. So guys, look out for that. Mindsets coming in January. It's very important. We use Orbid a lot, and you guys should know about that. You know about Orbid. So that's accountability, ownership, accountability, respect is above the line, which is a winner. That's what you want to be. Or if you're below the line, you the bed, which is blame, deny, and I can't remember the E now, but that's victim. So you're either victor or victim. Excuse is the E. So that's a very simple one. But the other ones like Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. There's the Eisenhower Matrix, which you guys will find out more about. And especially as leadership, if you're in leadership, you should know about Eisenhower Matrix as well as Stephen Covey's 7 Habits. So there's lots of mindsets it's worth knowing and being aware of. And also don't think everything comes straight away. A lot of people now in modern day think everything comes without hard work and straight away. You need to get your knowledge and then grow.
So I guess, sir, this is something that can be applied to careers as well because, well, you don't get to this position without starting at the very start, right? So I guess this is the one of the applications of the thought that you just said, actually, sir. You have to work hard. You have to gain experience and knowledge and then apply it, help the company grow, help yourself grow. And then, well, the progression will eventually come in and it will kick in. But it will require you a certain deal of experience, really. So I guess, in summary, it's not like a thing that you can fast track, really.
Well, no, but you have to put effort in. If you don't put an effort in yourself, so developing yourself, your mindset, and everything as well, it's not going to happen quickly.
Yeah, it doesn't really. Yeah, okay, sir. So thank you very much, sir, for your answers to the questions. So we'll just have a quick break.
Okay.
So you can catch your breath and drink water for now, sir. Welcome back, everybody, to the 5th episode of IO's Leaders Insight. So before our break earlier, we got to know Sir Nikolai a little bit more as a leader and as a business person. So now, guys, this is the moment that we've been all waiting for. Let's let's get to know more about him on a more personal level. Don't worry, sir, the questions are quite safe. We pre-screened them. I checked them myself. So, okay. So, there's a team member, sir, that asked a very interesting and I guess a very timely question. Because, here it goes. So, if you were to restart your career in the current global trend of social media and digitalization, do you have anything that you would have done differently on your way up?
I'm sure I would have if I had thought of it. Unfortunately, I don't have a plan B, so I have a plan A, so I just move forward. I'm sure with the whole social media, I'm not a big into social media. I do LinkedIn. I like LinkedIn now. I didn't used to like it before, but that's the only social media I personally do.
I guess before it was not really that prevalent, right, sir? When we were all starting our careers.
No, it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't.
But if given a chance, to say, for example, years ago, you've had like LinkedIn and these types of platform, would you like use it for like pushing the business more, promoting it more, and things like that?
If I'd had the time again, I would have bought an accountancy practice at the start, so that I had a lot of clients rather than having to get all my clients organically right at the start, because that would have got me a springboard into everything. That's the difference I would have done. Yeah, I'd have done an acquisition at the start. That's my only thing that I would have probably done differently, and then we would have been looking at intelligent outsourcing anyway, the way it was.
Yeah, that's actually.
But it would have got us quicker for me coming off Naylor Accountancy Services on the tools and working directly with clients. I'd have got somebody else doing that, and then I'd have been able to focus more on intelligent outsourcing, and would have grown intelligent outsourcing quicker at the start. That's what that would have allowed, and then we'd have, we'd have been using social media, I'm sure, to help do that.
Okay, that's actually quite good, sir. An acquisition right from the very start. But I guess, well, if you believe this saying that, well, everything will come at its perfect time. So I guess things had to happen the way it happened for us to be like at this point in time, right?
There's lots of learning. So from mistakes you learn. And I say that to everyone, guys. You learn from mistakes. As long as you or anyone else learns from mistakes and doesn't make the mistake again. So Henry Ford says the worst mistake is doing the same thing over and over again. So you do need to make changes.
And I always actually, sir, in addition to that, you know what, guys? Sir Nikolai always mentions, like, even if like it's 1% that you improve every day, it's still 1%, and at the end of the month, it's still a change in you and a mistake that will not be, hopefully, not repeated ever again. So yeah, I guess by now, I'm living to that. So I try at least up 1% to improve myself, the way I work, the way I communicate, the way I am as a team member. So I guess that's one of the things that is actually inculcated in my mind. So I guess, sir, from all the things that you're saying, from when we first started working together, I'm having this bits and pieces of knowledge, and then it gets stuck in my head. And I guess I would say it's quite effective because I don't always welcome change. It's hard sometimes to do so. And in certain areas, this 1% really helps me a lot. It's not pushing me like to be like change at like 100%, 360 degrees. So I guess it's beneficial even.
Well,
for
1% change is perfect. If you do 1% change all the time, cumulative, that's a massive percentage. And I'm always looking at improving myself. So I'm never perfect. I'm always looking at how I can improve myself through self-development and everything. and learning and thinking about what's happened, what the situation that's just happened, what should have happened instead, and how I could do things better, or we could do things better.
Well, sir, I've been saying this quite often during this interview, guys, but I guess this is true and correct. It's actually something, sir, that I really admire about you, because I guess I haven't experienced and had a privilege of knowing leaders that will have this kind of like afterthought, after process. So like this thing happened and then you still process and then you still make improvements. So the next time around, everything is better. I really rarely encounter such leaders. So really, sir, it's an awesome privilege to get to know you at this point in my career. So, okay, back to our questions. So, do you have some tips for current team members that are just starting on their careers?
Yeah, learn as much as you can. Be a sponge, especially from your client's perspective, your partner, from IO Academy. Just be a sponge. Learn, ask questions, and make mistakes, but learn from them. And don't worry about making mistakes, and do ask people around you, because there's mentors, there's people who've been doing this a long time, so they know more and more. The more you know, the better for you, better job you can do, the more your partner will want you to do work-wise. If you work for Intelligent Outsourcing, the more we'll want directly, more we'll want you to do, and then you'll be able to progress.
And mind you guys, if you're looking for the next book to read on with regards to leadership, self-improvement, this is the man. You can ask him. He has several list of books that you guys can read. It's the list is awesome. Okay, sir. So, on a more personal note, sir, there's a question for you. So, what was your most unforgettable experience when you were younger? And were there any lessons learned applicable to building a business?
Are you talking when I was younger as a teenager or a child, or when I was
maybe
in
at the point
20s?
in time, sir, that you are about to build your own business? Because we have a lot of team members actually that are business owners as well, started up with a little business here and there. So what advice would you give them?
It's what I've been keep going back to, and it's self-development. So look at your self-development. Look at the Napoleon Hill. Look at all these other other people like Brian Tracy. You've got Earl Nightingale. All these older guys as well, like Stephen Covey, as well as the more modern ones as well, like the Stephen Bartletts that we've got coming in now. But look at all the mindsets. YouTube's a great way, guys, of seeing all this, and you can even see Napoleon Hill as he was when he was alive. So it's definitely worth doing that. So it's just mindset, but that helps you with any way of life. And I never knew about that because I was always learning from textbooks. So I love learning, guys. But I think I may have said this to you, but I did my degree. I did A-levels, O-levels, A-levels, degree. Then I did accountancy exams, SEMA. Then I did corporate treasury exams. Then I did an AO level, GCSE in Spanish. Then I did an AO level in Spanish because I just wanted to carry on learning. Then it was setting up your own business. That was another learning. But then I started learning through going to a mastermind group about mindsets, and that's when I started looking into mindsets more. And just learning, it's self-development, it's massive.
And you know what, guys? This is actually one of the things that still amazes me at this point in time, because, well, Sir Nikolai actually joined several groups of like-minded people, not just one, not just two, there's several guys. And from all of these, I guess you've never stopped learning from other like-minded people. And I guess this is where we will say that when you stop learning, then you're I guess I heard you say this before, when you stop learning, you're dead, you're stagnant, something like this, along that line.
You should always be learning. As soon as you stop learning or moving forward, you're declining. So, and I don't ever want to decline.
Yeah, I think that's quite true, sir. So guys, never stop learning. That's quite simple, but it's actually 100% true. If you stop learning, then life is not fun anymore. Okay, sir. So, there's this one question, sir, for you. It's quite a fun one. Okay, so it just says here, sir, that if all IO partners will have a chance to get together, how does a Nikolai Naylor differentiate from the rest? So how will you stand out from the rest of the partners?
What does that mean?
So like, let's say there is a party, for example, and all the partners are there.
Yeah.
So how will you stand out? How will we know that this is the Nikolai Naylor?
Why do I need to stand out?
I don't know, sir. Do you like standing out amongst the crowd?
I love talking to people, which you probably know from the Christmas parties.
Yes,
and probably all of you know that. So I like talking to people because you learn a lot from people. So I'm never worried about being the center of attention. I just like talk. I am when I come here because I'm the CEO and you guys make me the center of attention. I don't make myself the center of attention. So, I will just talk to people, and that's what I do. That's what I enjoy. I get energy from it. I love doing that.
So
I love learning from people.
So I guess at the end of the day, you're the guy, sir, that met almost everybody in the party.
I can be. My wife hates it because when it comes to saying goodbye, I want to say goodbye to everybody at the party. So she knows it'll take half an hour to leave that party. We don't go to many parties, but
you know what, sir? This is a funny question even for me, sir, because you know how politicians in the Philippines are. They're like this as well. Like when you're in a party, when you enter, you'll speak with everybody and you know everybody, and then you will speak with everybody. You have a story with everybody, and then when you leave, it's the same, and it'll take like a long time for you to go out of the door. So it's really quite funny. So thank you for that answer, sir. It's really quite fun to be speaking with you in such a manner. So as a closing question, would you like to share an inspirational message to IO team members at this point in time?
An inspirational one. I think the main thing, guys, and I've said it already, is keep learning. And it is a really big thing, keep learning. The vision for IO is basically to do good for generations. So if you want to be part of that vision, carry on the learning and be part of doing good for generations.
So that's it, guys. So do good and be part of the good. That's a very good message for everybody, sir. So we will have our next segment now, sir.
Hi, I'm Nikolai Naylor, the CEO of Intelligent Outsourcing, and you are the IO team. And this is your insight and asking curious questions that you find when you Google my name. I've never done one of these. When did Nikolai Naylor start IO? So we started, I say we, because there was myself, Dee, and Christine in 2016. So we started just for Naylor Accountancy, and it was called, I don't know if this is on here, Naylor Outsourcing Inc. So it wasn't called Intelligent Outsourcing, it was Naylor Outsourcing Inc. And then the next one, does Nikolai Naylor follow a certain diet to keep his body fit? Am I fit? I don't know. Well, I am I'm pescatarian, so I do eat fish. But I started that in the late 80s, early 90s, so a long time ago. I do exercise, so keeping fit, the only way you can do it is not just eating, it's also fitness. So like here, when I'm in the Philippines, I go running every morning along the beach, and I do exercises first in the room, go running along the beach, and then I swim in here every day. So, and that takes quite a bit of time, but I love it, and I love just the sunshine. Running is hot and difficult here in the Philippines, and also pick up litter then as well, which makes it a bit longer. So that's what I suggest. Exercise as well as the food. What sports does Nikolai Naylor currently active in? What am I active in? I do Taekwondo, so I love Taekwondo. So I do that twice a week. I've done that since a teenager. I did break for a while. I used to do it at university. I love competitions and everything in it as well. My daughter is a black belt now as well, and my son is a black tag. He's stopped just for now, or just goes back now and then because of rugby, and I love doing that with the family when we do it. They've been doing it since they were about 8 and 9, so that they've been doing it a long time. Oh, I'm pulling off the ink here. What books can Nikolai Naylor recommend to the Intelligent Outsourcing? Well, there's loads of books I can recommend, just as Stephanie has actually just told you all. So, there's my book, but which is The Firm You Want, but that's more for accountants. But there's mindsets in there. Stephen Covey's the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. That is my one go-to. There's also Napoleon Hill. Anything that he's written is it's old school. And Dale Carnegie, very old, but he's amazing. There's somebody who's sort of a bit like him at the moment, which is Vanessa Van Edwards. So she's worth a look. You can see on YouTube and everything as well. But a lot of things on mindset and everything like that's well worth listening. There's the Stephen Bartlett book just out. I can't remember the name of it now, but it's. I was listening to that all the way over here to the Philippines, which is really good because he interviews so many people. So he's got all his ideas from there. And if you like Arnold Schwarzenegger, I sort of read that and just listened to that. That's well worth it. His latest one. It talks about vision a lot, because if you don't have a vision for what you want, and that's how we have a vision for Intelligent Outsourcing, it's actually difficult to know what you want to go, where you want to go, and what you want to be part of in life. There's loads more books, guys. Is Nikolai Naylor a music lover? Yes, I love music. I love all sorts of music. What types and genre? So, and what can I recommend? Now, I love the 80s and Rubin. That's why we did Summer of '69, as you know. And when I was in the car with Rubin, just to go and see Mayan erupting a little bit, we were listening to 80s music on the way there. So I love 80s music. I love classical. I love all sorts of music. My kids play violin and the guitar, and they're very good on those, and my daughter sings, so I love classical music as well, but most music. But I do love the 80s. I don't like some of the modern music where you don't have real instruments playing. I like listening to real instruments, so I like the Kings, I like Buddy Holly, Elvis, I love Bryan Adams, and those are sort of the older ones, but the Beatles, guys, the Beatles, even though you may think it's old, the Beatles are amazing. So definitely go to Beatles. And then you've got, Yellow Submarine is the Anybody Can Sing, which is what I sang in karaoke at the Legazpi Christmas party. Well, that's it. Thank you. So the next one. What is the most important risk Nikolai Naylor took, and why? It's difficult to know when you talk about risk. So if you talk about life, as it puts your life at risk, years ago I traveled Nepal, I traveled the world, and I did Annapurna circuit, and there was a snowstorm and we walked in the snowstorm. That was the biggest risk we ever took. We only just got back down off the mountain the way we came in this snow blizzard, and this was at the highest pass in the world, basically, that you can go over. Because somebody, thank God, and I do mean thank God, had like a walking stick, like a ski stick, so we could find those sticks. So I was there in front finding these holes, and we got back down. We then stayed down there for like 2 or 3 days before everything settled, and then we got a Sherpa to actually guide us up and over it. When we were at the top, or near the top, we saw some Australians coming down. They weren't as lucky as us. They got caught out in the mountain, they had frostbite, and they were being taken back down on donkeys, or I can't remember, it was some animals, because they couldn't walk. So we were blessed, and I thank God for that, because that was the biggest risk. Business risk, I'd say investing so much money and time into intelligent outsourcing, especially when we didn't know where it was going. The offices that we have, that's a massive investment. The people we have, it's a big, very competitive at the moment out there on our front, especially post-COVID. But we believe in what we do. We believe in the 4-day week. We believe in our vision and our values, and we want to be looking after you. So that's probably the biggest sort of financial risk that has happened in the past, not so recent. Okay. What is the one decision Nikolai Naylor? Ooh. Oh my goodness. Wished he didn't make, and why? That's a difficult one, because everything you do and all your mistakes you learn from. So even with acquisition, which Steph has said was painful, it was very painful for me. And when I was doing that, and in the hell of it, I was thinking, should I just give it all back? But I didn't, because I knew the only way was forward. And my mentor and my coach at the time, Sam Chaplin, actually said, look, you will learn so much through this, but you have to do the pain to gain, basically. Which I always say to everybody, you need to put the effort and work in to gain. I'd have done more due diligence on them, but I've learned this is on the acquisition, and I may not have taken the acquisition. However, it was an amazing learning opportunity for me, which I wouldn't have gained otherwise. So those learnings are worth so much money and time anyway. So it's very difficult to say that. Does Nikolai Naylor do stocks, crypto trading? I used to do trading because I worked in the financial industry in London, but I wasn't very good at it. So I actually stopped doing that. So that was one thing I did do. I do invest in my pension, so that's stocks and shares, and I do that on a rigorous basis, just so that I have something when it comes to my retirement age, which I'm nearly there, but I want to carry on till I'm in my late 70s or something. I want to carry on doing stuff and working, even if it's as a chairman. Crypto is an interesting one, because I know lots of people who've made a lot of money on it, and also a lot of people have lost a lot of money on it. What is the legacy of Nikolai Naylor to IO? Well, I don't think that's over yet, guys, so you have to wait and see. So at the moment, we've got a great leadership team, we've got great officers, we've got a great team there. So that's going to continue, so wait and see. And that's all the help of everyone else as well. What message can Nikolai Naylor, that's me, give to the team members before going back to the UK? I've already been doing this. So the biggest message is keep learning. Just keep learning. Use IO Academy, use your partners and be a sponge. So use this opportunity to learn as much as you can to develop your skill set, and we will help you grow within your roles within Intelligent Outsourcing and with your partners. And if you are internal, same thing. Look at the mindsets, look at IO Academy, look at what you can learn and keep progressing. Hard work and self-development does pay off in the end. That's all then.
So there you have it, IO community. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the IO's Leadership Insight and got to know Sir Nikolai a little bit more. So we hope to see you in the next episode. See ya!
Paalam!